case, they've really had a tough go since the last time they played Wilkes-Barre Scranton. When these two teams met earlier in the season, the Hartford Wolfpack were second in the Atlantic Division, right behind the Penguins. Now, just not even a month later, the Hartford Wolfpack are completely ailing now around the basement of the Atlantic Division and on a franchise-long losing streak. They've never lost this many consecutive games in regulation.
Meanwhile, the Penguins have never won this many games in a row in a single season. And finishing up that homestand, perfect 7-0. They're 8-0 overall at Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. But now back on the road for the first time since late in October. And that was the first game of a home and home series against the Springfield Falcons. The Penguins so far 3-1 on the road, 11-1 overall, and the best record in the American Hockey League. Meanwhile, the Hartford Wolfpack have lost 6 straight. They are now at 6-8-1 on the season. Their record brings them to 6th in the Atlantic Division. And they're looking for a victory in a bad way. The Penguins finishing up at 3-3. The Hartford Wolfpack idle last night, so in theory well rested for today's game against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. With that, we'll take a break here on the Penguins pregame show. When Nick and I return, we'll go in depth on last night's victory over the Rochester Americans. A couple lineup changes today for the Penguins as well. And we'll get you ready for the opening period of play here on WILK News Radio.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sideline. Rely on the specialists of the Geisinger Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. With the latest surgical and non-surgical treatment options, their specialists treat the most common to complex orthopedic and sports medicine injuries and conditions. Call Geisinger's Orthopedic Institute today and be seen today. Call 1-855-949-2663 or visit geisinger.org.
It's Matt Wolf here. Hey, I think you're all beautiful. I love you guys, and I'll bet a lot of you out there have acne. I feel your pain. It's embarrassing, and you're thinking, how on earth can I get rid of it, right? One word, Proactiv. I'm telling you, prescription-grade Proactiv heals your acne and even prevents future breakouts. How great is that? There's a reason why so many celebrities use Proactiv. Their faces are their money, and it's time to get it because Proactiv has set up a special dedicated 800 number. So get ready to punch that number into your phone. Pull over right now if you have to. Here's the deal. $19.95 gets you Proactiv, plus a rotating deep cleansing brush. It's valued at $45, yours free. So is the shipping. For only $19.95, you, my friends, are guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you'll get your money back. Here's the number, 1-800-644-5944. Call for a lifetime of beautiful skin and tell them Matt Wolf sent you. Call 1-800-644-5944.
Hello, welcome back to XL Center here in Connecticut. Today's presenting sponsor is Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer, official beer partner of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And today's game is also brought to you by the Times Leader and TimesLeader.com. Everywhere you are, make sure you check out the Times Leader and read the daily coverage of Tom Vineski here with the team day in and day out and providing all sorts of insight for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. They had plenty of insight last night as the Penguins defeat the Rochester Americans 3-1, extending that winning streak to 10 games, and you were able to catch up with the media during the post-game scrum with head coach Mike Sullivan, and then perhaps the funniest exchange was the question, what are your thoughts on the streak? And Mike Sullivan simply saying, I have no thoughts. And it just goes to show the mentality of the head coach, the coaching staff overall, and really the players in the locker room for Wilkes-Barre Scranton.
And the coaching staff and the players have been saying time and time again, they're just taking every game one at a time, and it doesn't sound like cliche. It sounds genuine every time they say it. In fact, when Dave Warsofsky was questioned about the streak after the game, he was surprised. He didn't even realize the Penguins had set the franchise record, so that goes to show you how much they're really keeping that outside noise at bay and just focusing on 60 minutes of the next game at hand.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the best start in team history. We're not anywhere near the best start in team history. That went back to 2005-06, 20-0-2-1 to start off the season. That's almost 2 months, actually more than 2 months of hockey without losing one in regulation. It's going to be hard-pressed to come close or reach that mark once again. But the Penguins, unfortunately, able to set the new record for consecutive wins. That one loss in Bridgeport in the opening weekend of the season will prevent them from getting to that 2005-06 mark. But let's go into last night's game a little bit more, Nick. And the Penguins, as much as they didn't necessarily dominate the first period Friday night against the Hershey Bears, but still found themselves up 1-0. Last night, it was complete domination in the opening 20 minutes of hockey. 16-4, the shot advantage for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, only to play of Americans goaltender Andrei Makarov, stopping the Penguins from holding the lead going into the first period.
And that was another point of emphasis after the game. All the reporters were asking players and Coach Sullivan, how did you guys not get frustrated after that first period? The Penguins were getting multiple chances, albeit many from the perimeter, but they were setting up guys in the slot with centering passes, and Makarov just time and time again was keeping the puck out of the Americans' net. The Penguins stayed the course so they didn't get frustrated, and that's when the second period, the period that has been the most kind to the Penguins all season, took over and sort of tilted the scales back in Wilkes-Barre Scranton's favor.
And from there, in that second period, the Penguins were able to strike first Jean-Sebastien Dea, who is leading the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins with 3 game-winning goals this season. He picks up his 5th tally, 7:24 of the first period, an unassisted tally. And after all the hard shots stopped by Makarov in that first period, it's a little bit of a change-up off the stick of Jean-Sebastien Dea that fools the goaltender and gets the Penguins a 1-0 edge.
And it really was just an odd shot from Dea, who has a very strong release typically. He came down the left wing side, cut to the middle of the ice, intentionally used the Americans' defenseman that disengaged to try and play Dea. He shot it through that defenseman in an attempt to mess with Makarov's sight line of the puck, if you will. And even though the shot wasn't that hard, that screen using the Americans' defender was enough for Makarov to not pick up the puck, and it just fluttered over his glove and into the net to give the Penguins that early 1-0 lead.
So the 1-0 lead for the Penguins in the second period, and then just over 8 minutes later, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins go on the power play. And Wilkes-Barre Scranton, despite only striking once yesterday in the man advantage, their power play units, both the first and the second, look fantastic. And it's the second power play unit that finds the back of the net. David Warsofsky, with 4:24 left until the intermission, beats Makarov clean with a wrister, the second goal of the season for the defenseman, and a big 2-0 lead for the Penguins heading into the break. We didn't realize how big it would be until later in the third period, but the Penguins seemed like they should have scored many more than the one on the power play. It looked good, but that one they did tally on, a big one.
A possession was key for the Penguins on the man advantage in the early goings of the game. Once again, they just couldn't solve Makarov enough times, but they really took it to the Americans' penalty-killing unit. And then finally, it was Dominic Simone with a nice play in the slot, skating towards the boards and then spinning around, throwing a cross-ice pass to Warsofsky. Warsofsky wired it in past Makarov, and it's nice to see Warsofsky finally being rewarded for some points. Early in the season, we were talking about Warsofsky playing such a strong two-way game and generating offense and just not ending up on the score sheet. Not the case anymore. Now with his second goal of the season last night, he was rewarded for what was an excellent two-way game. Both ends of the ice, it may have been his best of this 2015-16 campaign.
The Penguins really were on the power play for the final 7 minutes of regulation. And after Matt Donovan went to the box, 13-17 of the third. Then Bobby Sanguinetti gets called for hooking, gets assessed in sportsmanlike conduct minor as well. So really 6 straight minutes of power play time. You can feel Wilkes-Barre Scranton getting a little bit comfortable. All right, we won't need to score. We got this. We're up 2-0. And then right as the power play expired, Phil Verone gets led in on a breakaway, and he gets the puck through the 5-hole of Tristan Jarry, 19.8 seconds away, or 19 seconds away, 18.9 away from Jarry, securing his first professional shutout. A little bit of a tough break there for Jarry and the Penguins, but they'll take the win, definitely.
Oh, certainly, and even though you know Tristan Jarry was disappointed with losing that first pro career shutout bid so late in the game, in a game where he wasn't tested that much, but whenever the Americans early on in the first period, they only put 4 shots on goal, but 3 of those 4 shots were grade A opportunities, and Jarry was up to the task. He didn't make many saves, but he made a lot of timely saves, and it was just unfortunate for Jarry to see that goose egg on the scoreboard wiped away with so little time to go.
And then after that, the Americans go with the empty net extra attacker right off the ensuing faceoff, and Oscar Sundqvist sees a loose puck at center, goes diving to the ice to sweep it towards the empty net, and it just has enough speed to get across the goal line, enough accuracy to sneak inside the near post. And so 3-1 for the Penguins. They come away with the victory. And now they extend their winning streak to 10 games. And they face off against our Hartford Wolfpack this evening. As we said earlier, idle last night. There's very strange, or I'd say rare, Friday, Saturday off Sunday schedule. And the last time the Wolfpack were on the ice was up in Portland. They dropped a 3-2 decision on Friday, part of a 2-game sweep for the Pirates over Hartford. And as Wilkes-Barre Scranton has been outscoring the opposition in droves over this winning streak, 45-10 over their 10 straight victories. It's Hartford that has had a stern goal differential against over the 6 losses. Just 8 goals scored. Make that 6, including 3 games consecutively that were shut out. So just 6 goals scored, and when you tally up the goals against, it comes up to 22. So not exactly a recipe for success for the Hartford Wolfpack. And you look at this roster, some familiar names for the Penguins fans. Brian Gibbons, Jason Megner, Ryan Bourque as well. This team should be having much more success scoring on offense than they are. But you look at the stats, they're averaging just over 2 goals per game, 27th in the AHL. And they may be getting chances, but they're just not able to finish.
It seems like everything that can go wrong is going wrong for the Hartford Wolfpack. They actually haven't won a game in regulation since Friday, October 23rd against Syracuse. And during this devolution, if you will, that started with a game at Wilkes-Barre Scranton, a game that the Penguins ultimately won 4-1, things have really gone south, not just for the goal scoring, but the goaltending as well for the Wolfpack. In their first 7 games, when they found themselves in second in the Atlantic Division, the goaltenders had a .933 save percentage. And then in the most recent 8 games for the Wolfpack, that save percentage has taken a dive south to .865. They've allowed 224 shots on goal in those first 7 games, only 193 in their last 8. So the shots are being suppressed, but the pucks aren't going in at the other end of the night, and a lot of biscuits are ending up in the basket in Hartford's end.
Shots allowed per game for the Hartford Wolfpack right now, 27.9. So right under 28. That's a completely respectable total for defensive shots allowed. 11th in the AHL. Maybe some more shots generated desired for the Hartford Wolfpack. They're at 28.3. That's 23rd in the AHL. But you look at the players on offense, and again, the roster going up and down. The Wolfpack should be scoring many more goals than they are right now. Right now, their leading scorer is actually a tie for first. Brian Gibbons and Chad Naring, both with 8 points. Adam Tambolini leads the Hartford Wolfpack with 5 goals, but he scored 4 of those in his first 5 games. And since then, and the next 10, he's only put up 1 tally, and that came Friday night against the Portland Pirates. So the top line for the Hartford Wolfpack, great start to the season, led by Adam Tambolini, but they've fallen off the pace quite a bit.
It went 9 straight games for Adam Tambolini where he couldn't find the back of the net, and this is a young man with an absolutely wicked release. He can get off the shot quick in tight space and put it in the corners of the net with a lot of velocity, fool a lot of netminders that way. But just like the rest of the team, after the start of the season, things just weren't going right for the Wolfpack, and they were certainly trending downhill for the rookie Tambolini. Only 2 points in those 10 games as well, an assist and a goal. And like you said, that goal coming Friday night against Portland. So maybe Tambolini could have some confidence back in his sails and get back out on the ice and start putting more pucks in the net. That's something Wilkes-Barre Scranton is definitely going to want to keep an eye on to make sure Tambolini can't get his wheels going, because that shot is something else.
Starting goaltenders for today's matchup, Matt Murray, after getting the night off last night, he's back in between the pipes for the Penguins. 8-1 on the season, the 1.55 goals against average, and 95.1 save percentage. That leads all AHL goaltenders right now. 2 shutouts. Last one coming Friday night against the Hershey Bears, a 24 save effort. And Matt Murray in his 2nd season of professional hockey on a 7-game winning streak as well. So the Penguins have won 10 in a row, and Matt Murray, well, he's won 7 straight also. Meanwhile, Mackenzie Skapski getting his 2nd straight start after beginning the season on the injured list. Went down to Greenville to get a conditioning stint with the now named Swamp Rabbits. And in 1 start for the Hartford Wolfpack, he is 0-1-0, a 3.08 goals against average, and an 89.3 save percentage. Mackenzie Skapski, one of the best stories last year for the Hartford Wolfpack. Not only did he go 15-8-3 for the Wolfpack, but went out to the New York Rangers with the injury suffered up top by Ulrich Lundqvist, Chad Johnson, and
Cam Talbot.
Cam Talbot and Mackenzie Skapski playing admirably in relief of the King. And not only did Cam Talbot earn himself a nice little contract, but Mackenzie Skapski coming up and putting up minuscule numbers goaltending-wise for the Rangers.
In those 2 starts with the Rangers, he only allowed 1 goal, had a save percentage north of .970. Fantastic stuff from Skapski, including 1 shutout in one of those starts.
Cam Talbot now with the Edmonton Oilers and falling on harder times. A 3-8 record, a 3.09 goals against average, an 89.0 save percentage, but Edmonton definitely in the rebuilding process. Formerly led by Connor McDavid, but unfortunately he's out long-term with a shoulder injury, but still plenty of talent up front, but still trying to come together and get back into a respectable level in the National Hockey League. You see they're getting there, but not quite there yet.
And it feels like we say that after every season, the Edmonton Oilers in the rebuilding process. They're close, they're getting there, but they just can't quite get over the hump. With McDavid in the lineup, they look good. Cam Talbot actually looked very sharp. They've taken some chances on a couple different goalies. Victor Foss, Ben Scrivens, to name a few, and Nikolai Hobby-Bulin in years past. At the start of this rebuild, Cam Talbot has looked the sharpest out of all those netminders, but of course, playing behind the Edmonton Oilers defense is a little bit different than playing behind the defense of the New York Rangers.
Yeah, Anders Nilsson also in that mix. He is 3-4 on this season, but it is Cam Talbot that has the better numbers, goals against average-wise. But let's bring it back to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And let's actually bring it back to the AHL. A couple other games in the out-of-town scoreboard today that we need to tell you about. Portland and Providence underway at Dunkin' Donuts Center in Rhode Island, and they're tied at 1-1. 3 other games here this afternoon/evening. Rochester and Hershey face off at Giant Center. Hershey trying to find a goal after getting shut out in 2 consecutive games. Of course, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins doing the honors there Friday night, and the Bridgeport Sound Tigers skating to a 5-0 victory over Hershey yesterday. Texas and San Antonio also battling today in Texas, and Springfield will host Albany at 5 p.m. We'll take a break here at XL Center. When we return, we'll have your Geisinger Sports Medicine Injury Update, your Jeep keys to the game, and we'll prepare you for the first puck drop here on WILK News Radio.
Need a car now? WyomingValleyMotors.com. Want the best price? WyomingValleyMotors.com. Don't know exactly what you want? WyomingValleyMotors.com. Know exactly what you want? WyomingValleyMotors.com. Want the best price? WyomingValleyMotors.com is your resource to find the car you want. Just one click away. Making good deals. Making good friends. WyomingValleyMotors.com.
Wyoming Valley Motors. Making good deals. Making good friends.
Guys, did you know that the Woodhouse Day Spa is not just for women? It's the perfect place for guys just like you. And you're invited to relax and unwind through services designed exclusively for you. The Woodhouse's trained therapists will use therapeutic techniques to release tension, eliminate knots, and relax the muscles. You will feel like a different person when you leave. Nothing compares to the Woodhouse Day Spa, the choice of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Call today for an appointment or go online to kingston@woodhousespas.com.
When the Penguins aren't on the ice, you can probably find them shopping at Ashley Furniture Home Store. Ashley has the largest display of furniture in the area with over 60,000 square feet of showroom space. Ashley Furniture Home Store offers a huge selection on sofas, dining rooms, bedrooms, and accent pieces. Browse our kids' furniture or Simmons mattresses, and don't forget to see our great section of lamps, rugs, framed pictures, and home decor. Choose from delivery to your home, pick up your purchase, or rent our delivery truck and receive a 10% discount off your purchase. Buy with confidence. Ashley Furniture Home Store on Mundy Street next to the arena.
Hello, welcome back to XL Center. I'm Mike O'Brien alongside Nick Hart as we wrap up the first 3-game, 3-day weekend of the season for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And this is the first game of a 4-game road stretch for the Penguins. They'll face off against the Binghamton Senators and Albany Devils next weekend, then back up in Binghamton the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and finally returning to Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza for 2 games that weekend, beginning Friday night against the Providence Bruins. Will be an Eyewitness News Fan Friday, where tickets are just $14. And of course, you can enjoy select draft beers for just $2 from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And then the very next night, the Hershey Bears back in town probably looking for a little redemption, and Wilkes-Barre Scranton making sure they get exactly not that. So if you want to come on down Friday or Saturday, 7:05 puck drop for both games. Number to call, 570-208-PENS, or go online to Ticketmaster.com. You can also stop by the Mohegan Sun Arena box office. With that, let's go to your Jeep keys to the game. You know what? Let's change it up to the Geisinger Sports Medicine injury update because we have some lineup changes here today. The injury report remains the same. Tom Sestito, Mattia Marcantoni, and Barry Goers all out with lower body injuries. Tom Sestito, as we said yesterday, skating with the team this week, wearing the red no-contact jersey in practice, but he is the closest to returning to the lineup for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Healthy scratches today. Tyler Biggs and Reed McNeil into the lineup, so Josh Archibald and Nicholas Anderson coming out. A tough go for Nicholas Anderson. He's been shuffled in and out, but right now he's tied for the team lead in plus-minus at +10 with Tom Kuhnhackl.
Anderson's looked great all season, and so has Josh Archibald. Archibald has been drawing compliments from Coach Sullivan left and right after every practice, after every game. Archibald has been spoken of glowingly by Coach Sullivan, and this cannot be perceived as a punishment for either of those two players. This is just a numbers game, and Tyler Biggs and Reed McNeil have to get into the lineup after sitting out the past few games.
And that is your Geisinger Sports Medicine injury update for the Penguins. Here are your Jeep keys to the game. And for the Penguins, it's going to be matching what has to be the desperation of the Hartford Wolfpack. They're trying to get back into the win column. They're rested after being off last night. They are desperate for a win. Can the Penguins match that not desperation, the Penguins aren't desperate for a victory of 10 in a row, but they have to match that energy that the Wolfpack are sure to be coming with this afternoon.
Well, the Wolfpack certainly bring energy every night. The speed that they have on the forecheck is disruptive to just about every team in the league, and they gave the Penguins a really hard time using that speed on the forecheck in their last matchup earlier this season. The Wolfpack, they're proud. They're professionals. They know things have fallen apart a little bit here, and they know they're going to have to work to build it back together. It's the Penguins' job to match that intensity, find that extra level, that extra bit of muscle in your legs to drive through and make sure the pieces stay shattered on the floor for Hartford.
Second key for the Penguins, and you hate to be this simplistic, but Wilkes-Barre Scranton, their defense second in the AHL right now, allowing less than 2 goals per game, 1.67 to be exact. Meanwhile, the offense of the Wolfpack, 27th in the AHL, scoring just 2.07 goals per contest. The Penguins' D needs to remain stout and keep this Hartford offense at bay.
And it's a Penguins defense that gets contributions from all 5 players on the ice, not just the 2 guys that are listed as defensemen on the roster sheet. Everybody in the during this winning streak, and especially later on in the latter stages of this winning streak, all 5 skaters on the ice have made their contributions defensively by having strong stick positioning, good body positioning, and following the play, supporting the puck well when their teammates have it.
Third and final key for the Penguins, I think, is going to be the adjustments to the lineup for the Penguins. How are Reed McNeil and Tyler Biggs going to add to the success of the Penguins? And whether the Penguins can keep things going with a few changes here this afternoon.
Well, is it going to be rust or impact from a guy like Tyler Biggs? It's easy to say impact because even though he sat out the early part of the season, his first game he got in the lineup, a goal and an assist from Tyler Biggs.
And with that, we will take a break here at XL Center. When we return, we'll have your first period of play on WILK News Radio.
Hi, Wayne Vanscoy. Well, another hockey season is here, and you know what that means. The holidays are just around the corner. So if you're looking for that special gift, you must come to Vanscoy's Diamond Mine. You'll see the largest selection, get the best price, and the fastest service. We offer layaway or interest-free financing. So shop where the Penguins shop. Their preferred jeweler. That's Vanscoy's Diamond Mine on Mundy Street, just below the Wyoming Valley Mall. That's on Mundy Street. Mundy Street. On Mundy Street.
Built for business. When you run a small business, your day doesn't end at 5. It ends when the job is done. Manage inventory, process orders, pay bills, check your website. Every day, the to-do list gets longer and longer. Comcast Business understands that. That's why they offer the no-glitch switch. It's the quick, easy way to improve your business's internet. Installation takes about an hour, and if they're not on time, you get a $20 credit. They offer appointments at night or on weekends, so it won't interfere with your business. And if you're not 100% satisfied, you have 30 days to get your money back. You don't have to put up with slow downloads or emails that won't send. Just remember the no glitch switch from Comcast Business and cross switch to better internet off your to-do list. Make the no glitch switch. Call 800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. 1 hour install applies to standard installation of one outlet. Money back guarantee does not apply to Ethernet or hospitality services.
Ladies and gentlemen, Salisbury Central School and Cornwall Consolidated School Band. And now, please welcome Chippens Hill Middle School with tonight's performance of the Star Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen.
So after some extended pregame ceremonies here at XL Center, we're just about to get underway with the first period. Let's go through your starting lineups for the Hartford Wolfpack. As we said, Mackenzie Skapski will be in net for Hartford. Tommy Hughes and Chris Summers on defense. Chris McCarthy, your last scratch, is Sean O'Donnell, Callie Anderson, and Richard Nyeskleb also out today for the Wolfpack. At forward starting, it'll be Travis Alexic and Chad Naring, centered by Ryan Bork. For the Penguins, Matt Murray back in between the pipes. On defense, Derek Pouliot and Steve Alexi. Forwards are Scott Wilson, Cale Murat, and Connor Sheary. Two referees today, and they are Mike Mullen and Olivier Gohan. Linesmen, Mike Baker and Paul Simeon. Wilkes-Barre Scranton wearing their road black jerseys with the gold and white trim. The Hartford Wolfpack looking very much like their NHL affiliate, the New York Rangers, the home white jerseys with the red and blue trim. Just two games in the NHL today. The Toronto Maple Leafs facing off against the New York Rangers at 7 p.m. Chicago and Calgary at 8:30 p.m. in Illinois. The Pittsburgh Penguins coming off a tough loss last night, or yesterday afternoon, to the New Jersey Devils, 4-0. Bobby Farnham getting a goal against his former team. And the Penguins will be back on ice Tuesday when they host the Minnesota Wild and former Penguins assistant coach Mike Yeo.
Well, Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins fans certainly can be happy for the success Bobby Farnham has had in the New Jersey Devils organization. Certainly, I'm sure they're disappointed that he's not wearing the black and gold anymore, but Bobby Farnham, just as many goals this season as Sidney Crosby. Didn't think he'd be able to say that too long ago.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's up for debate at a later time. And with that, Cale Morat will step into the face-off circle against Chad Naring as we're about to get underway with this Sunday matinee between the Penguins and Wolfpack. Derek Pouliot circling actively at center ice, trying to get the legs ready. And with that, the puck is dropped, and the first period has begun. Won back by the Wolfpack, chopped around Murray's net, poked along, but not out. Good keeping by Alexic. But the second effort will get this one out to center ice. Now Wilson will look to win this race against Hughes. Rubbed off hard by the blue liner and played around the wall by Bork. Up the dash for Alexic. The former Worcester Shark will bang this one out to center. Alexic trying to track down the loose puck, but instead it's Pouliot around for Alexi. Now Sheary turns off the wall, lost his edge, back to his feet with the puck, and rolls by Wilson to the blue line to be handled by Bork. Bork, of course, the brother of Chris, who we saw with the Hershey Bears on Friday night. Good forecheck there by the Penguins. Wilson can accept the pass from Sheary, and now it's Hughes around the center. Alexic, wrists it far side to be handled. And thrown in front just wide by Tanner Glass. Brady Shea down from the blue line. He'll hold on side. Now Glass, the former Pittsburgh Penguin, up towards the point. Kostopoulos got a piece of it, couldn't clear out. Marek Hrivic eludes a check in the corner. And now McNeil with a good shoulder in on his man. Now Glass batting a shot, goes to the crease and wide. Bodie back at the point. Chops it over. Now a turnaround shot by Hrivic. Stopped with the pad by Murray. Penguins scrambling here in the early going of this first period. The Hartford Wolfpack seemingly well rested and looking very much so here in the first against the Penguins. Kostopoulos takes a check along the wall. Hrivic in the slot and turns over to Warsofsky. Warsofsky, though, being hooked, and it's taken back by Brady Shea. Warsofsky leans on him. Shea with a shot and a score. Goes off a skate and in. And the Penguins trail 1-0 here. Just a minute 39 in the first. And Nick, you felt this one coming.
It's David Warsofsky first making a great defensive play, but then he hesitates for a moment, looking for an exit pass. Nobody coming back deep to support the puck, and as Warsofsky waits, Brady Shea, the defenseman, getting very, very aggressive on the forecheck. Sneaks up behind Warsofsky, steals the puck away, waits for support, throws it in front of the net. It ricochets off of a Wolfpack teammate. And now Hartford has a 1-0 lead, and it seems like a long time since the Penguins have been in this situation, down by a goal early.
Well, the Penguins, their first period has been statistically their worst period this season. Now Hrivic trying to get another one after it looks like he just made it 1-0 for the Wolfpack. Let's listen in.
Season scored by number 15, Marek Hrivic. Assist to number 6, Brady Shea. Time of the goal, 1 minute 39 seconds. Hrivic, his second of the...
So there you go, Hrivic from Shea, and the Penguins coming from behind. The Penguins 5-1 this season when allowing the first goal, and as we continue the point, the first period, the worst period for the Penguins, with an 8-8 goal differential. The second and third period have been owned by Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Let's see if the Penguins can keep this deficit, maybe tie this up, and get to work in the second and third period. But still plenty of time here in the first period. The Penguins need to get to work right now. And deep it comes for Brown. Tarnowski with the quick backhand shots. And the rebound put in. 2-0 as Nick Tarnowski scores his second goal in as many games against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. This one coming at 2:44 of the first period. And that's 2 goals, 1 minute and 5 seconds apart. And the Wolfpack lead by 2.
Like you said, this is the second goal in as many games for Tarnowski against the Penguins. The Wolfpack have been put up early now by 2 Penguin killers. Marek Hrivic couldn't score in the last matchup, but he was certainly effective, wreaking havoc in front of the net. He was the recipient of that first Brady Shea pass, and now it looks like Mike Sullivan very early on going to use his timeout after Tarnowski put the Pack up by 2.
And a good timeout taken by Mike Sullivan. We'll take a timeout as well. Penguins down 2-0 early in this one on WILK News Radio.
Welcome to Master Travel, your one-stop center for all your corporate and leisure travel needs. We offer you the lowest rates in the area with no additional service fee for our expertise. Our certified cruise counselors, Disney, and group tour specialists will help you plan your family vacation, cruise, or honeymoon. We offer all-inclusive packages and more. For personal service and attention to every last detail of your trip, just call Master Travel today.
Welcome back, and the ensuing face-off after the timeout. Tarnowski and Biggs drop the gloves. Couple rights here by Tarnowski. Now Biggs trying to fire back. Looks like he connected with the right. Now an uppercut by Tarnowski. Biggs holding on right now. Gets taken down by Tarnowski, and that is a good tussle between those two players. Tarnowski gets a couple of high fives. Biggs making his presence felt in his return to the lineup for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and both those players will head to the box for the next 5 minutes to think about what they've done.
And that's one way to make an impact if you're Tyler Biggs into the lineup for the first time in several games after being a healthy scratch. He takes on Tarnowski, who's one tough customer. Last year, he had just 36 penalty minutes in an injury-shortened season, but he had recorded over 100 penalty minutes in the American Hockey League 4 different times in his career, and you know a lot of those penalty minutes came from dropping the gloves. Tarnowski, no stranger to fights, and Tyler Biggs standing up to the opponent, trying to spark something from the bench, and you got an immediate response from the bench. Everybody tapping their sticks in support of Tyler Biggs, but let's see if they can generate any kind of offensive momentum, any kind of puck possession out of that extra boost of energy Biggs is trying to provide.
There's still so much hockey to be played, but when you're playing your third game in 3 days, falling behind is always a tough task, because you know Hartford just playing their second game in 3 days. They should, in theory, have a little more in the tank. And when you fall behind first, second period, you know, maybe you can come from behind, but when you take that deficit into the third period, that's when you're on the reserves. Do you have the energy to mount that comeback? So obviously still so much time here in the first period, just 17 minutes, rather just 3 minutes played. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton needs to find their game, and quick. So Biggs and Tarnowski will spend the next 5 minutes in the box. No additional penalties assessed, and we have it 5 aside. Now the Penguins get across the red line. Kuhnhackl chops in the corner. He's fended off by Summers. Good forecheck here by Simone, and he'll drag the puck out of the corner. Simone, who leads the Penguins with 13 points. Over to O'Neill, center blue line. Far circle for McNeil. He'll fire in front. That's blocked down nicely by Naring. Pinching down for the pointers, O'Neill. And we have a stoppage. It looks like the stanchion between the 2 panes of glass behind the net of Skapski falls down on the ice. We'll all get the ice maintenance crew or the operations crew at XL Center to get that slat back between the panes of glass and the Hartford end.
Certainly don't see that one every game, but the operations crew here at XL Center quick to jump onto the ice and try and put that piece back in place.
So you don't see that very often. And the Penguins had something promising going on offense in the meantime. Simone, we talk about him all the time and the offensive plays he makes, but what's been very impressive with him in recent games is his commitment to the dirty areas of the game in terms of wall battles, one-on-one battles deep in the corners. He may not be coming away with the puck every time, but he seems committed to the type of game Mike Sullivan wants him to play.
And that commitment has kind of come and gone in waves so far this season, but as you said, the past few games, and Simone on a bit of a point streak, 3 games in a row. A lot of that has come from his work along the boards and his defensive play as well. It was an interception in the defensive zone that sprung Connor Sheary on a breakaway made by Dominic Simone 2 nights ago against Hershey.
Penguins still looking for their first shot of the game. They're unable to win the face-off in the Hartford end. Now a nice check there by Mulrat will free things up for Sheary. He'll flutter this up ice. Wilson has to touch up at the blue line. And that will give the Wolfpack a free pass out to the neutral zone. Brady Shea. His pass knocked down, but still taken in here by Glass. Glass circles far corner. All the way across it comes for Shea, but he can't control now. Hook in on Sheary. Denies a rush for a brief time before Sheary gets in the high slot, but put it right on the stick of Hrevic. And here come the Hartford Wolfpack. But luckily, they're at the end of their shift. They'll just dump in and switch. Goliath unable to jam this out to the neutral zone. Push back behind Murray's net, and the goaltender will wing it over to Warsofsky. Rimmed up for Wilson. His outlet attempt intercepted, and Sheary will take one back as Mulrat tried to sneak behind the defense. Sheary didn't have the lane, so he'll gain the red line football in, and he'll be replaced by Tom Kostopoulos. Oscar Sundquist and Dominic Guerre also on the ice. Kostopoulos had one come to him inside the offensive zone, didn't see it until it was too late, and Jason Megna eludes a big check coming from his former teammate Dominic Guerre. Now Pouliot picks off the pass. He'll drive onside. Pouliot back over to Sundquist. Sundquist in the high slot. He's dragged down. Comes to Uer. Uer fires, and that bounces off Kostopoulos in front of the net. Uer gives it up to Kostopoulos. Touched up, however, and the Penguins will go to the power play. A broken play for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and Oscar Sundquist was free in between the hash marks. Only a hook from the Wolfpack prevents a good scoring chance, but it will net the Penguins a man advantage.
It prevented a very good scoring chance. Oscar Sundquist with the puck and a lot of space in the slot. It was the man chasing him from behind that got the slash in there. Guilty party is Luke Adam, now playing in his third game in a row after missing some significant time with injury, and that all started because Derek Pouliot read a long stretch pass beautifully, stepped up to take the puck away, and then feed Sundquist.
O'Neill with a big shot from the blue line that's blocked by Bourque. Comes right back in front for Warsofsky, and now sent up towards the blue line. Warsofsky able to hold on side. O'Neill drags it down the dasher. Warsofsky to Jean-Sebastien D. Warsofsky back at the point. He'll control. Near dot for O'Neill. Now over to D. D fires, saved by Skapski. Puck loose in front, covered up by the goaltender as Porter was nicely boxed out by the defense. But the power play, as good as it looked last night against the Rochester Americans, looking pretty stout here in the early going against Hartford.
Some good puck movement. You can always look for Will O'Neill, who they like to slide down on that right side half wall. He either likes to wind up for a blistering one-timer or try the cross-ice pass, and he's had a lot of success with the cross-ice saucer pass. That time he hits Jean-Sebastien D, sets him up for a shot, save made by Skapski, and then the rebound quickly covered by the Wolfpack goaltender before Kevin Porter could do anything with it.
Penguins will hold the face-off just barely on side. Wilson with a rocket one-timer that goes off the rear glass and right to Bodie. Cleared out by the Wolfpack, and now Pouliot trying to skate away from the forecheck. A very aggressive one coming from Jason Megna. One shorthanded goal this season scored by the Wolfpack, just one allowed by the Penguins. Drop pass from Pouliot at center ice, hits a streaking Connor Sheary. Now Sheary to Wilson. Wilson waits and holds. In front, trying to find Morat back door. That went well wide, but Sheary will return possession to the Penguins. Kostopoulos in front for Wilson. Wilson with a backhand shot, saved by Skapski. Cleared away by Shea, and Hill squirted by Pouliot all the way down. 54 seconds remaining here in the power play. Long pass from Murray for Sheary, and now given up to Morat. To Kostopoulos, trying to tap back to Pouliot. Does so. Pouliot fakes a shot. Sheary over for Pouliot. He'll knock it over to Wilson. Now Wilson settles things down. Wilson flips to Pouliot. Pouliot across the point for Sheary. To Pouliot. Wanted to tee up the one-timer, wasn't there. Kostopoulos, goal line pass. In front, trying to find Wilson. Clearing attempt, held inside by Pouliot. Now Pouliot, top the far circle for Sheary. He'll wind and fire, and that's blocked bravely by the Wolfpack and shot all the way down by Rafael Diaz.
A lot of shots being blocked by the Wolfpack and the Penguins in Hartford's zone. Now the Penguins only with 2 shots on goal, but it feels like they should have so many more. That's because they're ricocheting off of shin guards in front, either by their own teammates or the Wolfpack.
Quickly on side are the Penguins once again as the Wolfpack get back to full strength. Erickson will chip this in the corner for Porter. He's tied up, but Simone will handle here for the Penguins. Simone around for Rowney. Rowney has a roll off of his stick. Good keep in by O'Neill, who read the play. Porter puts a check in on his man. Now loose behind the net of Mackenzie Skapski. Bourque can't clear. Rowney and Porter both converging on Bourque, and Porter will pull free. Now Rowney a chance to get up towards the blue line. He gives to Erickson. Shot and a glove save by Skapski, who looks very confident right now. And he makes a save with 12:32 remaining in the first period. It is 2-0 Wolfpack. Forgot about all of that, thanks to an effective power play so far for the Penguins, but unable to cut into that Hartford lead.
And really great work on the forecheck by Carter Rowney and Kevin Porter. They gave Ryan Bourque nowhere to go. Ryan Bourque got trapped and then ended up turning the puck over. Carter Rowney steals it away, gives it back to Erickson. That affords the Penguins a really nice shot off of the stick of Erickson, but Skapski once again making the save.
Defensive zone face-off controlled here by Hartford. And the slaughter comes for Adam, and a nice stick lift at the last second by McNeil as Adam beat the defenseman down the ice, but McNeil right there to make the play at the last second. Kuhnhackl taken away by Shea, trying to center, and he's knocked down in turn by Sundqvist. Someone without their stick out on the ice, and that's Oscar Sundqvist. Go get it back in front of Murray's crease. Adam, far side blue line. Now across here for Magna. He'll fire, and that went just wide. Huer able to work by his man, Bodie, and Bodie will get in the path of Huer to allow his defensive partner to come on to gather that loose puck. Kuhnhackl, though, picks one off at center. His wrist shot goes well wide. Huer trying to get it back to his European compatriot, but instead it's the Wolfpack transitioning. Left side to Adam Tambellini. Tambellini one-on-one against Alexi, and Alexi just takes the body and lets Pouliot handle the puck. To where it comes. Kicked out of his skate and played up for Sheary. Sheary has it batted away, and so the Wolfpack will take back possession with 11:24 remaining in this first period. Tapped in now by Tanner Glass. Pouliot circles away from the veteran, and it's out for Mulrat. Thought he had some help on the near side wall. Instead, it's swatted the other way by Hartford, and just onside is Hrivik. Little give and go between Hrivik and Glass, broken up by Matt Murray. Now turnover in front. Hrivik trying to center. Instead, it's batted away, and here comes Sheary with some speed. Sheary has it poked away from him, but Sheary will get it back and just send it in deep as the Penguins set up here in the forecheck. Press broken by the Hartford Wolfpack, and it's fluttered down the length. Erickson, with Brown bearing in on him, makes a soft play over to O'Neill. He'll send it high off the glass and all the way down where it slides over to Nick Maskey. He's got the insurance goal here.
Experiencing some technical difficulties at this time. Experiencing some technical difficulties at this time. We thank you for your patience. Please stand by.
And he swings up now for Kevin Porter. Porter didn't have the outlet, so he'll reverse directions, and now Alexi. They'll flip towards the Wolfpack bench, settled down by Shea. Shea across his own end. Rowney able to get a piece of that pass, but still skated in by Magna. Magna, far circle, a shot and a save by Matt Murray, And oh, hold on. 9:32 remaining in this first period. We'll take a break. It's all Wolfpack right now. They lead 3-0 on WILK News Radio.
I like things fast. That's why I love Frontier high-speed internet, now with 1 year of Amazon Prime. I use Frontier's fast, reliable internet to get instant access to Amazon Prime movies and TV shows, and you can't beat free 2-day shipping.
Switch to Frontier high-speed internet for just $19.99 per month with qualifying phone service and 1 year agreement on new internet service, and get 1 year of Amazon Prime. Call 1-888-FRONTIER now. Limited time offer for qualifying services. Taxes, fees, and other restrictions apply. 1 year of Amazon Prime service included with a 1 year agreement on new internet service. A maximum $100 early termination fee applies.
Two Broke Girls 5 nights a week presents Max and Caroline's Top 5 Blue Plate Specials.
5, the number of ponies I got for my 5th birthday. 5, the number of cigarettes I smoked on my 5th birthday. 5, the number of billions my father stole in a Ponzi scheme. 5, the number of beers my mom drank for breakfast.
5, the number of nights you can watch Two Broke Girls every week. And since you're home, pants are optional, like mine are now. Two Broke Girls.
Weeknights at 6 on Fox 56 Wolf TV.